is going on, guys? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We are about a week or so away uh, from New Year's. So I wanted to come out and thank you guys for an amazing year. And also in this video, we are going to be reviewing the New York Jets season. And so we're going to just be going over the last few games that have been ups and downs. So in the last video that I covered the Seattle Seahawks loss. We lost to the Seattle Seahawks at home, 21-26. Seattle beat us in our own house, 21-26. And so I'm going to be covering week 14, 15, and 16 in this video. And I'm talking about these past few games that we have been, on a just it's been up and down in these past few weeks. So let's just get into it. In week 14, we went into Miami, and we actually had a very competitive game against the Miami Dolphins, our rivals. If we won this game, we would be kicking them out of the playoffs right now. They would not be even qualifying for a wild card spot in the playoffs right now. Let's just get that front and center out there. But we lost this game. It was a heartbreaking loss, 21-32, 26-32. We lost this game in Miami, and let's just go over the statistics of this game right now. So, in this game, we played against Miami. We were 4-11 for the season. Miami was 7-8. So let's just have an overview of the game. I'm just trying to get it up right now. Let's look at our scoring summary. We did really well against the Dolphins. I'm still trying to pull up the box score and the scoring, the whole stats right now. Okay, so oh my goodness, this is frustrating. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 minute. All right, give me 1 minute, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to pull up the stats right now. Okay, here we are. All right. So the final score was 32-26, and we got beaten the brakes off us in the final seconds of this game. The Dolphins were 6-7 for the season. If we beat them, they would be a 500 team right now. So in this game, we scored 3 points in the first half, and I mean we didn't score 3 points. We scored 13 points in the first half of this game, which was really good. We were doing really well in this game. So we had 13 points in the first half, 3 in the first quarter, 10 in the second quarter, and the Dolphins, they scored a touchdown in the first quarter. In the second quarter, I think they scored another touchdown and they got 3 points. So they got 9 points in the second quarter. So all in all, the Dolphins had, let's just say they had 15 in the first quarter, and we had 13 in the first half. So we were about tied. We had a pretty close game the first half of the game, and the second half we put down 10 points in the third quarter, and we could have taken over and actually won this game. We had this game in the third quarter. We had it under control, but the Dolphins didn't score any points in the third quarter. However, in the fourth quarter, everything fell apart because we only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins went on and scored 11 points in the fourth quarter, and so and then the game went into overtime they tied it up in they basically tied up the game in the fourth quarter, and that was our collapse right there because the game went into overtime. We did not get a touchdown to seal the deal and win the game, and instead the Dolphins came back and scored a touchdown on us to win the game in overtime. I mean, what else can you do, guys? We we have been struggling on and off again, and I mean, what else can you say? This season has been it's been a roller coaster up and down. I mean, it's just been a tough season for us as fans, as New York Jets fans, and that's just unfortunate in this game that we lost this game. This is a heartbreaking loss. I'm saying. Let's just kind of look at the stats in this game. So Aaron Rodgers in this game, he did really well. He scored. He had 29 of 30, 27 of 39 passing yards, three for 339 yards. Scored one touchdown. Had no interceptions in this game. That was wonderful. Braylon Allen had a running back had 43 yards rushing. Isaiah Davis 40 yards rushing. Um, Garrett Wilson, 114 yards receiving. Devontae Adams, 109 receiving yards. Braylon Allen, 38 yards. Tyler Conklin, 33 yards receiving. I mean, we were on fire left and right. In this game, we did have interceptions no interceptions in this game on our side, which is good to see. And that's really great. We see that, guys. However, we did struggle. Let's look at the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa had 2 touchdowns in this game. He threw 331 yards. They had Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill didn't do too well in this game. He only had 6 rushing yards. Jeff Wilson, 6 rushing yards. Devon Shane, 24 rushing yards. Tyreek Hill had 115 receiving yards. Jalen Waddle, 99 receiving yards. So in this game, we should have won this game in Week 14, and unfortunately for us, it wasn't enough for us to seal the deal, and we could not get it done in Miami, and so that cost us. That was a very costly win for us. The Dolphins are loaded. The Dolphins have Odell Beckham Jr., they have Jalen Waddle, they have Tyreek Hill. They didn't do too well in this game, but they still came out with a win against us in Week 14, and so that is it. That is the game for us right there, guys. I mean, we just could not close the deal, unfortunately, in Week 14, and that's just frustrating to see because, in all honesty, we had more yards than them. We had more passing yards, or they had more passing yards than us. We had more rushing yards than them. 83 rushing yards. New York Jets had 219 passing yards. Miami 231 passing yards. Well, honestly, we were on top of them on defense. We had 10 penalties in this game. I mean, we have been just horrible with the penalties. That's one of the things that is just killing us. Honestly, I mean, third down efficiency is 33%. That's better than the Dolphins, 11% in third down efficiency. We had, it is what it is. We lost the game, and this is just the beginning of a new thing, guys. We just have to continue to see us progress. I mean, this year we're not really going into the playoffs this year, but I would love to see us definitely get some pickup wins against some of the better teams in the NFL. But it's tough to get wins when we're struggling like this in the season. So let's just continue. We're going to go to Week 15, and Let's go to week 15 now. All right, so in week 15, let's go to week 15. So week 15, the New York Jets, we played against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in this game, the Jacksonville Jaguars and us, the New York Jets, we have the same record in this game, and so both of us are fighting, just to get the win against the other. In this game, however, this is the reverse of last week. In week 14, when we lost against the Miami Dolphins, we go into Jacksonville and we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 32-25. We basically win by a touchdown. Win is a win. That's great to see. And so we pull away with the win in Jacksonville, and so our record improves to 4-10 for the season. And Jacksonville drops to 3-11 for the season in week 15. So let's just look at this. In the first half of the game, in the first and second quarter, we only scored 7 points in the first and second quarter of the game. However, Jacksonville scored 2 touchdowns in the first and second quarter, so they scored 13 points in the second quarter. We scored 7 points in the second quarter, in the first half. Sorry. Let's continue. In the second half of the game, we come storming back and we demolish the Jacksonville Jaguars and scored 25 points. We scored 10 points in the third quarter, 15 points in the second and the fourth quarter. And we seal the deal against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We hold the Jacksonville Jaguars to 3 points in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, we hold the Jacksonville Jaguars. They do get a touchdown on us in the fourth quarter, however, and then they get they get 3 points, so they're held to 12 points in the second half, and we seal the deal against the Jacksonville Jaguars and get the win against them in Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers, he had his performance was not as better as it was in week 14 against the Miami Dolphins, but Aaron Rodgers has 289 passing yards. He threw 3 touchdowns. He had no interceptions, so he is on fire against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's wonderful. Breece Hall had 30 yards rushing, 1 touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Isaiah Davis, 24 rushing yards. Ashton Davis, 21 rushing yards. Braylon Allen, 5 rushing yards. And so all these guys, Aaron Rodgers also rushed for 45 yards. And so, we are on fire against this team. Davante Adams had 198 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, our guy, and Davante Adams, both of them together, combined. That's where Aaron Rodgers threw his touchdowns to Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson had 56 receiving yards. Davante Adams 198 receiving yards. Breece Hall 21 receiving yards. Jeremy Ruckert 12 receiving yards. But Allen Lazard, he got no receiving. He got no passes, no touches at all in this game. And Aaron Lazard has been killing it for us in the past few games. He's been on fire, but he didn't get anything. Unfortunately, in this game, we had no interceptions. So he didn't have an interception. Sauce Gardner got a beautiful interception that sealed the deal for us against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Mills also had a reception on our defense. We didn't have any fumbles in this game. Our defense, we did have 1 sack by Solomon Thomas. That was a great player. C.J. Mosley did not. I don't see any sacks from C.J. Mosley in this game, but he was, there was tackles. Chuck Clark 6 tackles, 0 sacks. So it is what it is, guys. I mean, we we put on a show in this game, and we held the Jacksonville Jaguars to 25 points. Mac Jones was played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had threw for 294 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, and so they just could not capitalize against us, and we get the win against the Jacksonville Jaguars in their home stadium, and that's a big win for us because we need it. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes. That's it for the Week 15 game right there, guys. So coming up to this last week's game, we played against the Los Angeles Rams in our hometown stadium at MetLife Stadium right there. I'm just going to pull up the stats. Unfortunately, for this game, we did not win against the Los Angeles Rams. We did have a lead against them, in the first half. However, we collapsed in the second half of this game, and it cost us the win against the Los Angeles Rams, and the Los Angeles Rams defeat us 19-9 in this game. So Los Angeles Rams are 9-6 for the season. We are 4-11 for the season. So in this game, we came out hot in the first half. We scored 1 touchdown in the first half. We got 6 points. We should have 7. I do not understand for the life of me why in the world do these kickers keep missing the extra points. Why in the world do kickers? This has absolutely been a horrible season for kickers. For the kickers cannot convert simple 25, 30-yard kicks, 20-yard kicks to get the extra points. And so this is probably this is just a minor factor of how this is just costing us games, because we cannot get kicks, we can't get 7 points. We get 6 points in the first half, and then we score 3. We score a 3-pointer in the second half. We only get 3 points, so we're up on the Rams. We have 9 points in the Rams, and the Rams have 6 points, and so we are up on them by 3 points. And in the second half of the game, the Rams and the Jets do not score any points in the third quarter. However, in the fourth quarter, the Rams seal the deal. They get 2 touchdowns on us, or they get 13 points on us in the fourth quarter, and we're stuck with 9 points in the fourth quarter. In all honesty, guys, we really have to work on closing the deal. How in the world do we lose to the Rams in the second half of the game? We had the opportunity in the third quarter to take over and get some points on the board against the Rams, which we could have beaten. Again, we had 2 teams that we could have beaten already. We could have beaten the Rams, and we could have beaten the Dolphins, and possibly knocked them. They could not be qualified to get into the playoffs. But here we are right now. Our record would be a little bit better than what it is, 4-11 for the season. So let's just go to our Aaron Rodgers scored for 256 yards in this game, had 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Breece Hall had 52 rushing yards. Isaiah Davis 12 rushing yards. We didn't get any touchdowns from the running backs in this game. Davante Adams scored 1 touchdown against 1 touchdown for us in this game. Tyler Conklin, he had 68 receiving yards also. Tyler Conklin, 59 receiving yards. Garrett Wilson, 54 receiving yards. Breece Hall, 38 receiving yards. Allen Lazard, 20 yards receiving yards. And that's it in this game. And unfortunately for us, we did have a fumble in this game. We had 2 fumbles in this game. 1 fumble from Aaron Rodgers, the other fumble from Xavier Gibson in this game. And this is just a struggle. We also had an interception from Tony Adams. Tony Adams had an interception in this game in our defense. So we had the opportunity to get the win against the Los Angeles Rams, and unfortunately, we just coughed up and could not seal the deal against the Los Angeles Rams, and that just shows in our stats right here. Matthew Stafford had a horrible game. 110 yards, one touchdown, one interception. This was clearly a game that we could have won because we had the game plan against the Rams and we lost. We had Matthew Stafford, one touchdown, one interception. Kyren Williams, one touchdown. You know, Matthew Stafford didn't have any -4 rushing yards in this game. He did not do too well in this game, and that's just basically the game for us guys in this game. So unfortunately, we lose to the Los Angeles Rams, 19-9 in this game. I knew that we're going to, just fumble the ball and just mess it up in the fourth quarter, because that's what the Jets do. The Jets cannot close out games that they need to close out in order to win. And unfortunately, we're going to be playing our division rival, the Buffalo Bills, this Sunday at 1 p.m. in Buffalo. The Bills are the better team in the league. They're one of the better teams. It's 12-3 for the season. This is going to be we're going to get blown out in this game. I do not foresee us winning against the Buffalo Bills in their hometown, at home against them. This is just what it is, guys. We just have to just pray and hope that we get the win against the Bills, and that will fix their seeding somehow. So that's it for week 16. For week 17, actually, this is who we're going to be facing in week 17. We're facing the Bills in this game, and then lastly in week 18, we're going to be facing the Dolphins again. In week 18, the last game of the NFL season, and we're just going to be sitting at home watching the Bills compete for a Super Bowl in the NFL playoffs, watching the Dolphins compete for a Super Bowl in the NFL playoffs, and at the bottom of our division, and the AFC East. So that's just the way it is. We're sitting at home with the Patriots, watching them do their thing, and that's just going to be it for us, guys. So I'll see you guys next season, in next season when the NFL season starts back up in October. This is an early farewell that I'm wishing from a Jets fan to all the other fans out there, that I'll be seeing you guys next season, because we're not going to the playoffs this year. So it is what it is, and we'll have to come back to the drawing board and start from scratch and see what happens. And I do have to say this. I got to say the feeling that I think Aaron Rodgers definitely has to go. I don't think Aaron Rodgers can stay. If Aaron Rodgers is gonna come back, Aaron Rodgers definitely has to just continue working with us, I guess, to continue building chemistry with the team, to get us rolling, to get us moving forward. Because in all honesty, but let me just be clear about this. When I first heard that Aaron Rodgers was coming to the Jets, I was wondering to myself, what is Aaron Rodgers trying to accomplish coming to the New York Jets? And is he trying to pull off the same thing? Is he trying to pull a Tom Brady on us? Is he trying to bring us back into relevance? And because we had been on the island of irrelevancy for the past 60 years now. But maybe it's time, Aaron Rodgers. It's been great having you join us as a New York Jet, but it's time for you to go. It's time for you to retire, man. It's just not working out. It's not working out for us. As coming from me, it's not working out for us. We got to pick our quarterback from the draft. We got to move forward, and we got to, We gotta pick somebody from the draft. We gotta stick with that young quarterback until that young quarterback blooms and grows and moves forward in us with us. And because we have a really young team and we have all the makings to be a great football team, but in all honesty, I don't see Aaron Rodgers helping us to move forward. And also sticking with the new coach that we have too, because I like this coach. I like this coach better than I like the previous coaches that we have. This coach has been helping us to get some wins on the road. He's been definitely been working hard to turn this team around and move us forward. And that is exactly what I like to see. If Aaron Rodgers is on board with that, with helping this team turn around and to and to help us improve as to help us get into the playoffs and help us to move forward and all. That would be great. I can see Aaron Rodgers staying for one more year, but he cannot stay any longer. If he can help us stay for one more year, help us point the story forward, to lead us forward, but he is now 40 years old, and in all honesty, I know that 40-year-olds, they can still perform at a high level, but this is the NFL. He is 40 now. He is older now. I just will have to wait and see what will happen with Aaron Rodgers staying with this team. But it might be better for us to find a replacement quarterback to run under Aaron Rodgers, someone who can pick up from the draft to help Aaron Rodgers coach that young player to improve and the pros at the pro level. But it's going to be a tough. It's going to be this is just the way the season is going. And I'm just throwing my hands up, and not in desperation, but I'm like, okay, well, let's just see how we do against the Bills. Let's see how we do against the Dolphins, and we'll see how things go forward with that. So that's all I got to say about that, guys. So thank you for watching. Have a happy holidays, and enjoy the wonderful weather outside. Goodbye.